Right, good morning. Yesterday we did the project which was to combine a keyboard with 3 keys and a light dependent resistor, and we wanted to have a keyboard where we played some notes and the pitch of the note will change depending on the light intensity, okay? So, we designed the circuit by taking the circuits off the button, the tone keyboard and the LDR circuit. We combined them and we created our new circuit. That's one thing we did. The second thing we did is we then took the code and we combined it. Now, the part that I want to review today is from looking at what you guys have done and looking at how we made progress yesterday, fabricating the circuit wasn't a challenge. You could do it. I mean, you had some bad connections, but you understood where the problems were and you could solve the problem. So now we're going to look at the second part, which is considering we have the circuit, how do we write the code? And that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to go again through it with you guys so that we have a clear understanding of it. So I'm going to do the whole process on the board, and then when we finish that, we're going to discuss it to see if you have any questions. And then we'll do today the new exercise, which is the one about getting things a bit more sophisticated. So our general approach, what's the limit where it's visible? Is it visible here? Yeah. Okay, so our general approach is that this time we started with an idea, okay? And we wanted to create an interactive project, an interactive design project. And we wanted a keyboard with 3 or 4, we'll take the example with 4 keys. How many keys do you have on your examples? In that one, how many are there? 4, so we'll do the one with 4 keys. And we wanted to do a 4 keys keyboard, and you wanted high pitch when bright condition and low pitch when not bright. Yeah? That's how we started. So first thing we did what I call the logic table. And the logic table is just to help us think about what is happening, what is the program doing, how are things working it out together. So it's very simple, and it's a good thing for you guys to do that just for 2 reasons. First, to clarify the logics of what you're going to be doing. Second, if you're in a group, to make sure all the group members understand exactly what's going to happen. Because if you just say, I want a keyboard with change pitch and I have 4 keys, the other guy might think it change pitch depending on how much pressure you put, or you change pitch how long you keep pressing the buttons, or whatever. But if you do a clear logic table, all of you have a very clear understanding of how it's going to work, okay? So, the way to do that is very simple. We have many ways of doing it. The way I do it, it's not the best, it's not the worst, but it works. It's good that we have this scope just here. Let me put that there. So, we have condition, and we have here user input. Okay? So, we know that we have 4 keys. So, key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4. Yeah? And we decided that key 1 was A3, B3, C3, and D3. These are notes, music notes. Those who did classical education, I think it's A, I think it's C, or Sol, I think, or La. Anyway, it's Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol instead, but we have A, B, C, D because it's the English system. So that's what we have, yeah? Then we have this. So, the key 1, the key 3, the key 4, we can do it in details, then we have a very good understanding. We can do it in details, we can do that. And here we have, so user input, here we have pressed, not pressed, pressed, not pressed, pressed, not pressed, pressed and not pressed. Yeah? Just to really go into the details, okay? So, what conditions do we have? We have bright, and we have not bright. Yeah? Do we have any other condition? No. Do we have any other user input or any other things that's going to happen? No, we have nothing. We could, for example, add an LED. So one of your group did add an LED. So we can do that. We can add user input or output, any other output. So we could have here, for example, an LED. And we could, for example, we'll do the LED here, but we won't implement it, just to tell you how to do this. So for example, we have an LED that's red, then we have an LED that's green, and then we have an LED that's blue. Yeah? And that, I'm not doing any programming, I'm just doing the logics. Okay? Yeah? Any questions so far? You could add other things. You could have, for example, a servo, etc., etc., etc. All right? Okay, we have the condition that's bright and the condition that's not bright. And the condition that's bright, we're not going to describe what it does. For those who arrived late, don't worry, I'm going to repeat that when I finish filling it. So, the condition when it's bright and the button is pressed, we said play A3. So, and we know we're just going to use plain English, so we're going to put A3 here. And when it's not pressed, it's that do nothing. If it's bright and it's key 2, we have B3, and when it's not pressed, do nothing. If it's bright and it's key 3, it's C3, and when it's not pressed, do nothing. And for key 4, it's D3, and when it's not pressed, you do nothing. Okay? So far, no problem. Now we can add this, and we can say, okay, when the key 1 is pressed and it's bright, the LED red is going to go very bright. So on, bright. So that's what we have on bright when key 1 is pressed. Of course, normally you do a 3-dimensional table, but we're doing it on the board. So when key 1 is pressed, yeah? Or we can put it here. We can say here LED R bright. Yeah? Maybe we'll do it like this better. So what I'm trying to tell you is there are many ways to do this, but you need to find a way that works for you and your team so that you clearly communicate all the cases, all what's happening in your program. So we'll do it like this, just to keep the table simpler. Yeah? But you can do it the other way, but I like this style, it's more neat. And here there's nothing. If, So LED R is bright. Otherwise, all LED off. Yeah. If the key 2 is pressed, is the LED green that goes bright. Or if it's not pressed, all LED are off. And here is LED blue, and otherwise all LEDs are off, and bright, yeah. Oh, we realize we have 4 keys, so we had another LED, yellow for example. So LED or amber, it's bright, otherwise all LEDs are off. Yeah? So, if the conditions are bright, if I press key 1, I get A3 and the red one bright. If I press key 2, I get B3 and the LED green bright. Key 3, I get the blue LED and C3. And the key 4, I get D3, the tone D3, and the LED amber, that's bright. Okay? And then, if it's not bright, we said we go for A5 or A6. What was it? Doesn't matter, we'll put A6. Okay. So that plays A6, nothing. B6, nothing. C6, nothing. D6, nothing. And here we're going to have LED are dimmed or all LED off. LED green dimmed or all LED off. Oops, sorry. I forgot to turn off my mobile. It's funny how. Let me turn it off. Here we are. Sorry. And then for key 3, so LED blue is dimmed, or all LEDs are off. And the last one, LED amber, is dimmed, or all LEDs are off. So, have we here addressed all the possibilities? According to what we said here, yes. Because what we said, we have 4 keys. We said we have a change of pitch when it's bright and change of pitch when it's not bright. Change of when it's bright it's A3, B3, C3, D3, and when it's not bright it's A6, B6, C6, D6. We've added the LED because we thought what happens if you add LEDs. So, and that's the end of it. So let's summarize. What we've done here is very simple. We started with an idea. We wanted a keyboard that's going to play a different pitch. First, we wrote down exactly what the idea is in plain English. It's for 2 reasons. So that we can come back to this. It's also when you are in a group, so you all are exactly at the same, on the same project. You're all thinking the same thing. Once we wrote this, and I know you're going to say, well, I don't need to write, I can just discuss it quickly. No. Trust me, write everything on your block book. You have to become very methodical, because when you become very methodical, you avoid a lot of mistakes that you make when there's a misunderstanding, that you forgot a detail or whatever.